to get my back blown out in peace. You think I got time to talk about a divorce that's a year old?
Things just got way too real. Aaron Pierre allegedly threatened to take Iman's daughter away from him. This wasn't just a heated disagreement. It exploded into a full-blown confrontation that was loud, messy, and terrifying for the little girl standing just a few feet away. What started as a routine drop-off turned into something no one expected, something caught entirely on security camera. Shouting, pointing, fists clenched. This wasn't just an argument. This was a war of pride, pain, and power, playing out right there in a parking lot. And now, the internet is asking the question that no one saw coming. Who's really trying to tear this family apart? It all started with what was supposed to be a calm, smooth handoff. Iman Shumpert was returning his daughter to her mother, Teyana Taylor, after a weekend together. Everything had been going according to plan. The drop-off was arranged in advance, meant to be neutral ground, a public parking lot inside a gated area to avoid any kind of drama. Iman brought her on time. He wasn't late. He wasn't causing problems. But then, out of nowhere, Aaron showed up. He wasn't supposed to be there. And his presence immediately changed the whole energy. No smile, no greeting, just tension thick enough to choke on. Iman was about to say goodbye to his daughter when Aaron stepped in, placing himself between them like a wall. At first, it was quiet. Just murmured words, maybe a glare or two. But according to someone who saw the whole thing, it didn't stay quiet for long. Aaron reportedly leaned in and said something that made Iman freeze on the spot. "Keep pushing me," he whispered, "and I'll make sure she never sees you again." Those words were like lighting a match near gasoline. Iman's whole body shifted. His eyes locked onto Aaron's, and for a moment, everything else faded away. The parking lot, the cars, even the people around them. It was just these two men, standing on the edge of a dangerous moment. Iman slowly stepped forward, jaw tight, hands balled into fists. "Say that again," he said. "Say it to my face." Iman's daughter stood only a few steps away, clutching her little bag, wide-eyed and scared. She could sense something was wrong, even if she didn't understand the words. Teyana wasn't there yet. The only witnesses were a security camera mounted above the gate, and a couple of shocked onlookers who froze, unsure if they should step in. The camera saw everything. It caught every second as Aaron and Iman started raising their voices. "You think you can take what's mine?" Iman shouted. That moment, raw and fierce, showed just how deep this cut really was. Then came the moment everyone's talking about. The security footage shows it clear as day. Iman and Aaron facing off, voices rising, hands flying through the air in frustration. Iman got chest to chest with Aaron, but he never hit him. He never swung. Still, Aaron reportedly shoved Iman with both hands, yelling, "You're not her only parent anymore." It was meant to provoke, meant to dominate. But Iman didn't back down. "You're not even blood," he fired back. "You don't get to make that call." The fight was seconds away from turning physical, until a passerby rushed in and pulled them apart, right before things crossed the line. And just like that, it was over. The video leaked a few hours later, and social media exploded. Once the footage hit the internet, everything changed. Screenshots of the moment spread like wildfire. Clips were slowed down, replayed, dissected. People couldn't believe what they were watching. And then came the news that broke Teyana's silence. She had seen the footage too. According to sources close to her, she broke down in tears after watching it. She reportedly yelled at Aaron, asking him why he would say something so cruel, especially in front of the child. "She's already struggling enough," she allegedly screamed. That wasn't anger. That was heartbreak. And it didn't stop there. She tried calling Iman immediately, but he didn't answer. Not once. A close friend of Teyana's said she was spiraling emotionally. "I'm losing control of everything," she reportedly said. And in a way, she was right. Because now, she's stuck between two men, one she's dating, and one she shares a child with. Both furious. Both wounded. And in the middle of it all, a little girl who just wanted a peaceful goodbye with her dad. Teyana hasn't posted anything online since the incident. Not a statement. Not a picture. Nothing. And that silence, it's louder than any words. The internet, however, had a lot to say. As soon as the phrase "take her away" started trending, fans lost it. One viral tweet read, "Aaron's not even her stepdad. His way out a line." Another user wrote, "Iman kept it together, but I would have snapped. That man has patience." People were stunned by how Iman stayed calm, especially in such a high-pressure, emotional moment. Hashtags like #TeamIman, #SheNeedsHerDad, and #AaronBackOff flooded timelines. People weren't just upset, they were furious. Many directed their anger at Aaron, but some also turned to Teyana, urging her to protect her daughter from being dragged through this kind of drama. As emotions continued to run high across social media, the fan theories started flooding in, each more intense than the last. People aren't just reacting, they are analyzing, speculating, and, in many cases, accusing. A large portion of the public now believes that Aaron's so-called threat wasn't simply something said in the heat of the moment. According to these voices, it wasn't a slip-up. It wasn't an accident. It was a deliberate, calculated attempt to push Iman out of the picture, slowly and systematically. They argue that Aaron's words and actions weren't random or impulsive. Instead, they suggest he's been trying to position himself as the dominant figure in the family dynamic for a while now, and this was just the most visible step in that plan. Others are interpreting the situation a bit differently, but still with alarm. To them, Aaron isn't necessarily playing a long game, but he is clearly insecure. They believe that Aaron feels threatened by the close, genuine bond Iman shares with his daughter, and that fear is causing him to act out in aggressive, manipulative ways. These people say Aaron is not trying to be a father figure out of love, but out of a need for control, over the home, over the narrative, and maybe even over Teyana herself. They see this as a textbook case of someone trying to dominate a space that doesn't fully belong to them, and they warn that the damage from that kind of behavior can ripple for years. Then there are the fans who believe this was the breaking point, the final straw that may lead Iman to take serious legal steps. Some are predicting that Iman could seek stricter custody arrangements, including court-enforced boundaries that prevent Aaron from being present during handoffs or visitation moments. They argue that if Aaron continues to insert himself in volatile ways, the legal system may need to step in to protect the child from future trauma. And it's not just about keeping physical distance, it's about protecting emotional and psychological stability. Because each time a situation like this happens, it chips away at a child's sense of security. The environment becomes less about co-parenting and more about surviving unpredictable outbursts. More and more fans are saying the same thing now, sometimes in hushed tones, sometimes loudly and publicly. Aaron is manipulative. And if someone doesn't step in, if Teyana doesn't step in, this might leave emotional scars that don't just fade with time. They warn that this isn't just a fight between two men, it's something much deeper, something more dangerous. A pattern of behavior that could, if left unchecked, damage a young girl's understanding of safety, family, and love. They argue that the harm being done isn't theoretical, it's already happening, and it's visible in the child's reaction, in the silence afterward, in the chaos that keeps repeating itself. Some voices, especially from longtime followers of Teyana's journey, are saying this might be the wake-up call she desperately needed. That maybe, just maybe, this is the moment where everything becomes clear. That love, no matter how deep or passionate, is not enough when a child's well-being is at stake. There has to be stability. There has to be peace. There has to be an environment where a child can grow up without fear, without confusion, without being caught in emotional crossfire. And right now, that kind of environment doesn't seem to exist. What the world is witnessing doesn't feel like a peaceful home. It feels like a ticking time bomb, one that's already gone off once and threatens to detonate again with even more force. At the core of it all, this isn't just a rivalry or personal feud. It's about identity, about control, about one man trying to protect his rightful place in his child's life, and another trying to redefine the entire framework. Aaron's threat wasn't just unkind or disrespectful, it was a direct attempt to undermine Iman's role as a father. That sort of threat doesn't just sting, it cuts deep. It challenges the very foundation of fatherhood. Iman may have kept his cool, may have held himself back, but anyone who saw the footage or was close enough to witness it could see the pain on his face. You could see the heartbreak in the way he walked away, choosing not to escalate, choosing instead to protect his daughter in the only way he could, by staying calm and not letting things get worse. But what about the daughter? What does she remember? What does she carry from that moment? She saw it all. Every raised voice, every gesture, every bit of tension that passed between two grown men in her presence. She saw the shove. She saw the fear in the adults around her. And children, no matter how young, absorb those emotions. That memory isn't going to fade by next week or next month. It's not going to disappear when the adults apologize or act like everything is fine. Moments like that leave marks. Invisible ones. Emotional ones. Marks that may shape how she understands love, how she understands protection, how she defines what it means to be safe. And the real tragedy is that no matter how hard parents try to shield their kids, children always know when something is wrong. They can feel when love turns into tension, when the people around them are in conflict. That's the real heartbreak here. Because in situations like this, there are no winners. There's no victory, only damage. Only broken pieces scattered across what used to be a safe place. And now, the question remains, who will pick them up? And who will keep breaking them? So now the question is, what happens next? What would you do if someone threatened to take your child away from you? Would you stay calm like Iman? Or would you snap? Was he right to walk away? Or did he let someone cross a line that should have never been crossed? Drop your take in the comments. We want to hear your honest thoughts. Smash that like button if you believe no man should ever come between a father and his child. And hit that subscribe button, because this story, it's far from over. The drama might fade, the videos might stop trending, but the impact of this moment, that'll be felt for a long, long time.